Commander Lee Ji-won sat in the Seoul Space Defense Center watching the morning shift begin. Coffee steamed from her cup as dozens of screens showed normal orbital traffic around Earth. Cargo ships moved between the moon bases and Earth stations. Everything looked peaceful on this Tuesday morning in March. The first alarm made her look up from her reports. Senior Operator Park Min-ho called from the International Space Station. His voice carried worry through the communication link. Seoul. Control, we have unknown contacts appearing on long-range sensors. Multiple large objects materializing in high orbit. Lee Ji-won stood up and moved to the main display screen. The radar showed empty space one moment, then suddenly massive shapes appeared like ghosts becoming solid. 12 enormous vessels hung in Earth's sky where nothing had been seconds before. Size estimate on those contacts, she ordered. Each vessel measures approximately 15 kilometers long, Park Min-ho replied from orbit. They're larger than anything we've ever built. Dr. Kim Nari rushed into the control room from the Geneva Research Station video link. Her face was pale with excitement and fear. Commander, we're receiving identical reports from every major observatory on Earth. These ships appeared simultaneously around the globe. The alien vessels began moving toward Earth. Their approach was slow and deliberate, like predators circling prey. Lee Ji-won activated the Global Emergency Network, connecting Seoul with defense centers in Washington, Moscow, London, and Beijing. All stations, this is Seoul Control. We have confirmed extraterrestrial contact. 12 large vessels of unknown origin are approaching Earth. General Kim Won-sik appeared on the main communication screen from the Pentagon. Seoul, what's their estimated time to engagement range? Before Lee Ji-won could answer, the alien ships stopped. They held position in perfect formation above Earth's major population centers. Then bright lights began gathering along the hulls of each vessel. Energy buildup detected, Park Min-ho reported from the space station. Massive power signatures across all 12 ships. The first beam of energy struck the Cheyenne Mountain complex in Colorado. The mountain simply vanished in a flash of blue light. No explosion, no debris cloud. The entire facility disappeared. As if it had never existed, Lee Ji-won watched in horror as similar beams lanced down from orbit. The Kremlin in Moscow evaporated. The Pentagon became empty space. Naval bases, Air Force installations, and military headquarters around the world vanished one by one under the precise alien fire. Dr. Kim Nari coordinated with research stations worldwide as reports flooded in. They're targeting our military infrastructure with surgical precision. No civilian casualties so far, but every major defense installation is gone. The alien ships began broadcasting on all radio frequencies simultaneously. The message came through in perfect Korean English, Chinese, Russian, and dozens of other human languages. People of Earth, you have witnessed our power. Your military forces are eliminated. Your weapons cannot harm us. Surrender now and accept integration into the Valkyrie Empire. Resistance will result in the destruction of your cities and the death of millions. Commander Lee Ji-won stared at the communication displays as military bases continued disappearing under alien fire. Every nuclear submarine had gone silent. Strategic missile silos were empty holes in the ground. Air Force bases around the world reported total destruction of aircraft and facilities. How did they know exactly where everything was located? She whispered. Colonel Choi Hyun-woo's voice came through on a secure military channel from an undisclosed location. They've been watching us. This level of intelligence requires months of surveillance. The alien bombardment continued with devastating efficiency. Radar installations vanished. Satellite control centers became empty craters. Naval ports were swept clean of warships. In less than 10 minutes, Earth's visible military capacity had been completely eliminated, Park Min-ho reported from the International Space Station, which the aliens had ignored. Seoul, I'm seeing secondary explosions at multiple sites. They're not just destroying facilities, they're making sure nothing can be rebuilt quickly. Dr. Kim Nari coordinated with world leaders through emergency channels. The aliens have disabled our nuclear arsenals, jammed most military communications, and destroyed key defensive positions. They knew exactly what targets would cripple our response capability. President Nam Soon-yeon appeared on emergency broadcasts worldwide. His voice was steady despite the chaos. Citizens of Earth, we face an unprecedented threat. These beings have demonstrated superior technology and knowledge of our defenses. However, we must not despair. Humanity has survived many challenges throughout history. The alien vessels held their positions as their leader continued broadcasting. Your leaders speak of resistance, but resistance is futile. We have eliminated your capacity for organized military response. Your weapons are primitive. Your technology is centuries behind ours. Submit to Valkyrie rule and your species will be preserved as workers in our empire. Li Jiwan noticed something strange on her displays. While the major military installations were being destroyed, many smaller facilities remained untouched. Research stations, civilian airports, and commercial spaceports continued operating normally. They're being very selective, she told Dr. Kim Nari. For beings who claim total superiority, they're leaving a lot of infrastructure intact. Colonel Choi Hyun-woo's voice returned on the secure channel. All military personnel, begin implementing Prometheus Protocols, Authorization Code 77 Alpha. Execute immediately, Li Jiwan frowned. She had never heard of Prometheus Protocols. The authorization code was unfamiliar too. But Colonel Choi's voice carried absolute authority. Exactly 10 minutes after the first alien weapon had fired, something unexpected happened. The bombardment stopped. The alien ships began moving to higher orbit, pulling back from their attack. Positions. Park Min-ho's excited voice came from the space station. Seoul, the alien ships are retreating. They're moving away from Earth. Confused alien transmissions leaked through communication channels. Voices speaking in unknown languages carried tones of surprise and alarm. The perfect coordination of their attack was breaking down into scattered, panicked reports. Dr. Kim Nari monitored the alien communications with growing amazement. Commander, their retreat appears unplanned. Something has forced them to withdraw. Li Jiwan stared at her displays as new contacts began appearing on radar. Ships that had not been there moments before were now visible throughout the solar system. Human ships, but designs she had never seen before. Seoul Control, this is Admiral Song Jasu from Luna Base. Earth's counterattack is beginning. All personnel, stand by for further orders. Li Jiwan realized that Earth's 10-minute defeat had been something else entirely. The aliens thought they had won, but they had walked into a trap 3 years in the making. 3 years earlier, Colonel Choi Hyun-woo had been conducting routine patrol flights over the Pacific Ocean when his radar detected something impossible. A small object was moving through Earth's atmosphere in patterns that defied known physics. It changed direction without slowing down, accelerated without visible propulsion, and disappeared from sensors only to reappear miles away. Choi Hyun-woo followed the object for 2 hours before it finally crashed into the ocean near the Mariana Trench. He marked the coordinates and called for immediate recovery operations. The official report listed the incident as a meteor strike, but Choi knew better. The recovery team brought up wreckage unlike anything human science had ever produced. Metal that was lighter than aluminum but stronger than steel. Circuit patterns that seemed to grow rather than being manufactured. Power sources that generated energy through principles Earth scientists barely understood. Dr. Kim Nari had been called in to examine the crashed probe. Her first look at the alien technology changed everything she thought she knew about physics and engineering. The device had been designed to study Earth without being detected, but mechanical failure had caused it to crash. This probe has been recording everything, she told Colonel Choi during their first classified briefing. Radio signals, internet traffic, satellite communications. Someone has been watching us for months. Within weeks, more crashed probes were discovered around the world. Each one had been studying different aspects of human civilization. Military installations, population centers, industrial facilities, and government operations had all been Under alien observation, President Nam Sung-yoon made the decision that would save humanity. Instead of announcing the discovery to the world, he formed a secret international coalition. The major powers agreed to work together in absolute secrecy to prepare for eventual alien contact. Project Prometheus became the most classified program in human history. Engineer Yoon Tae-young was placed in charge of reverse engineering the alien technology. His team of scientists from every nation worked around the clock to understand how the alien devices functioned. Their technology is advanced, but not impossible to understand, Yoon reported to the Secret Council. They use principles we know but apply them in ways we never imagined. We can learn from this. The first breakthrough came when Dr. Bae Myung discovered how alien power sources worked. The probes used controlled dark matter reactions to generate enormous amounts of energy from tiny devices. Human nuclear technology seemed primitive by comparison, but the basic physics could be adapted. Admiral Song Jae-soo supervised the construction of hidden facilities throughout the solar system. Luna Base was built inside an existing crater on the Moon's far side, invisible from Earth and undetectable by most scanning methods. Asteroid mining stations became cover for weapons. Manufacturing plants. The most ambitious part of Project Prometheus was the construction of a secret fleet. Captain Young Min-soo led the first test flights of human ships built with alien technology. These vessels could become invisible to most sensors and carried weapons based on the dark matter principles found in the crashed probes. The stealth systems work perfectly, Young reported after a successful test flight. We flew within 1,000 kilometers of the International Space Station and they never detected us. Lieutenant Han Soo-young commanded one of the first completed stealth ships. Her vessel looked like a standard cargo hauler on the outside, but inside it carried weapons that could destroy anything in Earth's existing military arsenal. Dozens of similar ships were positioned throughout the solar system. Major Kang Dong-won developed new ground combat equipment based on alien materials. Human soldiers could now wear powered armor that made them faster and stronger than normal humans. The armor also provided protection against energy weapons, similar to those found on the alien probes. The secret coalition built an entire shadow military that existed parallel to Earth's visible forces. Every nation contributed resources and personnel to Project Prometheus while maintaining their normal military operations for the world to see. Dr. Oh Hae-jin worked on understanding alien communication systems. The crashed probes had been sending data to somewhere beyond the solar system using transmission methods that human technology could barely detect. She learned to intercept and decode these signals. They're reporting to a larger group, she told Colonel Choi during a classified briefing. These probes are scouts for a military force that plans to invade Earth. The intercepted communications revealed the aliens called themselves the Valkyrie Empire. They had been studying Earth for over 2 years, preparing for what they expected to be an easy conquest. The Valkyrie believed human technology was primitive and human military forces would surrender quickly. General Kim Won-sik coordinated the defensive preparations based on alien intelligence. The real military installations were moved underground or hidden in locations the alien probes had never discovered. What remained visible were elaborate decoys designed to fool alien sensors. Let them think they know where our defenses are located, Kim told the Secret Council. When they attack what they believe are our strongest positions, they'll be destroying empty buildings and fake equipment. Captain Park Min-ho was selected to remain on the International Space Station during the expected invasion. His job was to observe the alien attack and relay information to the hidden command centers. The aliens would ignore the space station because they saw it as harmless. Commander Lee Ji-won had been briefed on Project Prometheus only 6 months before the invasion. Her Seoul Space Defense Center was one of the few visible facilities that remained fully operational. She would coordinate the public response while Admiral Song directed the real battle from Luna. Besides, the most difficult part of the plan was keeping it secret from Earth's population. Millions of people worked on projects connected to Prometheus without knowing the true purpose. They believed they were developing new space technology or conducting advanced scientific research, Lieutenant Yoon Tae-young completed the final weapon systems, just 2 months before the Valkyrie arrived. Human ships now carried dark matter cannons that could penetrate any known shielding. The aliens expected to face primitive chemical rockets and nuclear weapons, not their own advanced technology turned against them. Agent Lee Min-jung infiltrated alien communication networks using captured probe technology. She could monitor Valkyrie transmissions and even insert false information into their data streams. The aliens never suspected their own surveillance network had been compromised. When the Valkyrie fleet finally arrived, Project Prometheus was ready. 3 years of secret preparation had transformed humanity from a single-planet species into a spacefaring civilization with hidden bases throughout the solar system. The aliens thought they were attacking a primitive world, but they were about to face an enemy that had been preparing for war since their first probe crashed. Admiral Song Jae-soo watched the Valkyrie fleet from Luna Base as they celebrated their easy victory. The alien ships had moved to higher orbit, believing Earth's military was completely destroyed. Their formations were loose and relaxed. They had no idea that human weapons were already targeting them. All stealth ships, this is Luna Base, execute attack pattern Alpha, target the command vessels first. Captain Young Min-soo piloted the lead stealth fighter toward the largest Valkyrie ship. His vessel was invisible to alien sensors, moving like a shadow through space. The dark matter cannon had been charging for the past 5 minutes, building energy. Levels that would have been impossible with human technology alone. The first shot took the Valkyrie completely by surprise. Jung's dark matter burst punched through the alien flagship shields like they were made of paper. The massive vessel shuddered as internal explosions ripped through its hull. Emergency lights flickered along its length as critical systems failed. Direct hit on the command ship, Jung reported. Their shields are down and they're venting atmosphere. Lieutenant Han Soo-young attacked from the opposite direction, her stealth ship targeting the second-largest Valkyrie vessel. The aliens had designed their shields to stop primitive human weapons like missiles and nuclear warheads. They never expected to face their own advanced technology improved by human engineering. Her dark matter cannon fired 3 rapid bursts into the alien ship's engine section. The Valkyrie vessel lost power and began drifting helplessly through space. Escape pods launched from the dying ship as the alien crew abandoned their positions. Second command ship is disabled, Han reported. The aliens are evacuating. The Valkyrie fleet tried to respond to the unexpected attack, but their targeting systems could not lock onto the invisible human ships. Energy beams swept through empty space where the stealth fighters had been moments before. The aliens were shooting at Ghost. Dr. Bae Myung activated Earth's planetary defense grid from her control station in Geneva. Hidden energy projectors rose from concealed positions around the globe. The major cities that the aliens thought they had studied for years were protected by shields. Based on Valkyrie technology. New York appeared first, rising from behind its defensive barrier like a city emerging from fog. The towers and buildings were exactly as they had been before the alien attack. The Valkyrie bombardment had destroyed nothing but empty decoy structures built in the wrong locations. London's shield deactivated next, revealing the undamaged city to alien sensors. Then Tokyo, Moscow, Beijing, and dozens of other population centers showed themselves unharmed. The devastating attack that was supposed to break human morale had accomplished nothing. Major Kang Dong-won led the boarding assault on the disabled alien flagship. His soldiers wore powered armor that made them move faster and hit harder than normal humans. The alien crew had never fought enemies equipped with their own advanced technology. Breaching the hull now, Kang reported as his team cut through the alien ship's armor. Minimal resistance so far? The crew seems confused and disorganized. The Valkyrie soldiers were taller and stronger than humans, but their weapons were designed for fighting primitive enemies. Human-powered armor absorbed energy blasts that should have been lethal. The human soldiers moved through the alien ship like unstoppable machines. Colonel Choi Hyun-woo coordinated the space battle from his command position aboard a hidden battleship. The vessel had been disguised as a civilian cargo hauler for months, drifting through the asteroid belt while the aliens studied Earth's defenses. All ships, focus fire on the alien vessels attempting to retreat. Don't let any of them escape to report what happened here. Captain Park Min-ho watched from the International Space Station as the battle turned completely in humanity's favor. The Valkyrie fleet that had seemed so powerful 10 minutes ago was now scattered and broken. Half their ships were disabled or destroyed, and the rest were trying desperately to flee. Soul Control, this is incredible. The alien ships are running away. Our stealth fleet is hunting them down one by one. Commander Li Jiwan could barely believe what she was seeing on her displays. The Seoul Defense Center showed human ships appearing throughout the solar system like magic. Vessels that had been invisible moments before were now pursuing the retreating alien fleet. Dr. Kim Nari monitored alien communications as panic spread through their ranks. The Valkyrie had expected an easy victory over a primitive species. Instead, they found themselves fighting an enemy that used their own technology better than they did. Their command structure is completely broken, she reported. The alien ships are operating independently now? They have no coordination left. General Kim Won-sik emerged from his hidden command bunker as the immediate threat passed. The underground facility had been built 3 years ago specifically to survive the first alien attack. Now he could coordinate the cleanup operations. All forces begin recovery operations. Capture alien survivors for interrogation. Secure their technology for study. And prepare for possible reinforcements. Agent Lee Min-jung had infiltrated the alien communication network during the battle. She discovered that the Valkyrie had been sending regular reports to their home. Based throughout their surveillance of Earth, the last message had been sent just before the attack began. "Admiral, we have a problem," she reported to Song Jae-soo. "The aliens have been reporting to a larger force. When these ships don't return on schedule, more will come looking for them." The battle lasted only 30 minutes from start to finish. The mighty Valkyrie fleet was reduced to scattered wreckage and a few captured vessels. Human casualties were minimal thanks to the protective armor and superior tactics. Lieutenant Yoon Tae-young examined captured alien equipment as the cleanup continued. The Valkyrie technology was advanced but showed signs of age and poor maintenance. Their weapons had not been updated in decades, and their ship designs were outdated by their own standards. "These aliens are not the galactic superpower they pretended to be," he reported. "Their technology is old, their ships are badly maintained, and their military tactics haven't changed in generations." Admiral Song Jae-soo realized that humanity had just defeated the weakest members of a larger galactic community. The real test would come when stronger alien forces arrived to investigate what happened to the Valkyrie scout fleet. Earth had won its first space battle, but the war was just beginning. Agent Lee Min-jung sat across from the captured Valkyrie commander in the interrogation facility deep beneath Geneva. The alien was tall and pale, with 4 arms and large black eyes that showed fear and confusion. 3 days had passed since the failed invasion, and the prisoner was finally ready to talk. "Your species is not what we expected," the Valkyrie commander said through the translation device. His name was difficult for humans to pronounce, so they called him Commander Voss. "We studied your world for 2 years. You showed only primitive weapons and simple technology." Lee Min-jung kept her voice calm and professional. "Tell us about your empire. How many ships do you have? Where did you come from?" Voss looked down at his restraints with shame. "The Valkyrie Empire is not an empire anymore. We are refugees running from an enemy we cannot defeat. Your world was supposed to be our new home." The revelation shocked everyone listening to the interrogation. Dr. Kim Nari had assumed the Valkyrie were a powerful galactic civilization. Instead, they were homeless survivors searching for a place to hide. Commander Ru Jae-won studied the captured alien records with growing amazement. The Valkyrie database contained information about dozens of worlds they had attacked over the past century. Every invasion followed the same pattern as their assault on Earth. "They find worlds with developing civilizations and attack quickly," he reported to the Secret Council. They expect easy victories against primitive species. But look at their success rate over the past 50 years. The data showed a disturbing trend. The Valkyrie had been defeated by increasingly weak opponents. Species that should have been easy targets had somehow found ways to resist alien invasion. The Valkyrie military was losing confidence with each failure. Dr. Ohijin analyzed captured Valkyrie technology and found evidence of systematic decline. Their weapons were based on designs that were centuries old. Their ships used power sources that more advanced civilizations had replaced long ago. This technology is ancient by galactic standards, she reported. The Valkyrie stopped innovating generations ago. They became dependent on intimidation and overwhelming force against much weaker enemies. President Nam Sung-yeon met with world leaders to discuss the implications of what they had learned. The Valkyrie were not the threat they appeared to be, but they were running from something much worse. If these aliens are refugees, what are they running from? He asked during the classified video conference. The answer came from deeper interrogation of Valkyrie prisoners. Commander Voss described the enemy that had destroyed his civilization with a mixture of terror and respect. The Nexari hegemony rules the central galaxy. They allow no competition and no resistance. When the Nexari decide a species has become too advanced, they eliminate it completely. Major Kang Dong-won listened to the alien descriptions of Nexari technology with growing concern. These beings possessed weapons that could destroy entire star systems. Their ships were the size of small moons, and their armies numbered in the billions. How long before they follow you here? He asked Commander Voss during one interrogation session. The aliens' fear was obvious even through the translation device. They track us wherever we go. When we fail to report in, they will send scouts to investigate. The Nexari never leave loose ends. Captain Jung Min-soo examined the Valkyrie fleet's navigation records and found disturbing evidence. The aliens had been followed for decades as they moved from system to system. The Nexari were already tracking them toward Earth's solar system. According to these logs, Nexari scout ships are maybe 6 months behind the main Valkyrie fleet, he reported. They've been hunting these refugees across half the galaxy. Admiral Song Jae-soo faced an impossible strategic situation. Earth had just proven it could defeat one alien invasion. But the approaching enemy possessed technology that made the Valkyrie look like children playing with toys. Dr. Bae Myung worked frantically to understand Nexari capabilities from Valkyrie records. The information was limited because few Valkyrie had ever seen Nexari technology up close and survived to describe it. They don't just conquer civilizations, she told the emergency council meeting. They study them first, learn their weaknesses, then eliminate them with surgical precision. No species has ever successfully resisted a full Nexari assault. Lieutenant Han Soo-young monitored long-range sensors for any sign of approaching ships. The outer solar system appeared empty, but Nexari vessels could be invisible to human detection methods. The enemy might already be watching Earth. Colonel Choi Hyun-woo met privately with Commander Voss to discuss possible alliance options. The conversation was difficult because both sides had been shooting at each other just days earlier. Your people tried to conquer our world, Choi said bluntly. Why should we trust you now? Voss struggled with the translation device as he tried to explain. Because the Nexari will destroy both our species. They see no difference between Valkyrie and humans. We are all primitive life forms that must be eliminated. General Kim Won-sik studied tactical reports about Nexari military doctrine. The enemy preferred to let their targets destroy themselves through fear and despair. Civilizations often surrendered without fighting once they learned what the Nexari could do. They're psychological warfare experts, he reported. Half their victories come from enemies giving up before the battle starts. But they also have the military power to back up their threats. Commander Lee Ji-won received updated intelligence reports that painted a grim picture. Earth's hidden fleet was impressive by human standards, but insignificant compared to Nexari capabilities. The approaching enemy could destroy the entire solar system if they chose. Dr. Lim Yarn proposed the desperate solution that might save both species. We combine Valkyrie knowledge with human innovation. Their technology is old, but they understand galactic warfare. Our technology is new, but we don't know how to fight space battles. The proposal horrified many human leaders. Working with the aliens who had just tried to conquer Earth seemed like betrayal. But the alternative was extinction for both species when the Nexari arrived. Agent Lee Min-jung continued interrogating Valkyrie prisoners to gather every piece of information about their enemy. Time was running out, and humanity needed to understand what they would be fighting. The Nexari have destroyed over 1,000 civilizations, Commander Voss revealed during one session. They keep detailed records of every species they eliminate. Earth will become another entry in their database unless we find a way to resist them together. The revelation changed everything. Earth's victory over the Valkyrie was just the beginning of a much larger conflict. Humanity had to evolve from a single world species to a galactic power in a matter of months, or face complete annihilation when the real enemy arrived. Captain Shin Dae-yun was patrolling the outer edge of the solar system when his long-range sensors detected something impossible. Energy signatures were appearing in empty space, far beyond Pluto's orbit. The readings matched nothing in human or Valkyrie databases. Luna Base, this is Deep Patrol 7. I'm detecting massive energy buildups at coordinates 77 Mark IV. Multiple contacts materializing from faster-than-light travel. Admiral Song Jisoo felt her blood turn cold. As the report came through, it had been only 6 weeks since the Valkyrie invasion, and the Nexari had found them much sooner than expected. Captain Shin, maintain maximum distance and begin detailed scans. Do not approach the contacts under any circumstances. The approaching ships were unlike anything humans had ever imagined. Each vessel was over 50 kilometers long, dwarfing even the largest Valkyrie ships. They moved through space with perfect coordination, like parts of a single vast organism. Dr. Kim Nari analyzed the sensor data from Geneva as more. Nexari ships continued arriving. The energy output from just one of those vessels exceeds our entire planetary power grid. They're operating technology we can't even understand. General Kim Won-sik coordinated the emergency response as reports flooded in from observation posts throughout the solar system. The Nexari fleet was deploying in battle formation, preparing for what they clearly expected to be a simple extermination. Mission: all hidden bases implement maximum stealth protocols. All personnel prepare for immediate evacuation to emergency shelters. This is not a drill. Commander Voss had been working with human scientists for weeks, sharing Valkyrie knowledge about their mutual enemy. Now he watched the approaching fleet with the terror of someone who had seen Nexari power before. You cannot fight them directly, he told Colonel Choi Hyun-woo during an emergency briefing. The Nexari have weapons that can shatter planets. Their smallest ships carry more firepower than your entire fleet. Lieutenant Yoon Tae-young had been working frantically to integrate Valkyrie and human technologies. The hybrid systems showed promise, but they needed months of testing and development, time they no longer had. The new weapon systems are only 30% complete, he reported to the Crisis Council. We have some improved capabilities, but nothing that can match what's coming toward us. Captain Park Min-ho observed the Nexari fleet from the International Space Station as they established orbital positions around the solar system. Their formation was perfect, covering every possible escape route. No ship could leave the system without their permission. Sole control, the alien ships are surrounding us. They're not approaching Earth directly. It looks like they're setting up a containment field. Agent Lee Min-jung had been monitoring Nexari communications since their arrival, but the signals were completely encrypted. Unlike the Valkyrie, these aliens were not broadcasting surrender demands or making threats. They worked in complete silence. Dr. Oh Hai-jin discovered the reason for the Nexari silence when she finally cracked part of their communication system. They're not here to conquer us. They're here to study us before they destroy us completely. The revelation sent shockwaves through the human command structure. The Nexari were treating Earth like a laboratory specimen, gathering data about human and Valkyrie capabilities before eliminating both species. Major Kang Dongwon prepared his ground forces for an invasion that might never come. The Nexari appeared to prefer orbital bombardment to landing troops. Earth cities could be destroyed from space without any alien soldiers setting foot on the planet. All-powered armor units deploy to protective positions around major population centers. If they start shooting, we need to evacuate civilians to underground shelters immediately. Captain Jung Min-soo led a desperate reconnaissance mission to gather intelligence about Nexari capabilities. His stealth ship approached one of the smaller alien vessels. Hoping to remain undetected long enough to scan their technology, the mission lasted exactly 17 seconds. The moment Jung's ship came within scanning range, every weapon on the Nexari vessel locked onto his position. Only his immediate retreat prevented complete destruction. They detected our best stealth technology instantly, he reported after. Barely escaping. Whatever sensors they're using, they can see right through our cloaking systems. Admiral Song Jae-soo faced a strategic nightmare. Earth's hidden fleet was invisible to Valkyrie sensors, but the Nexari could track every human ship in the solar system. The advantages that had won the first battle were useless against this enemy. Dr. Lim Yaren worked around the clock to develop new defensive systems based on combined human and Valkyrie knowledge. The project was ambitious beyond anything attempted before, requiring technologies that barely existed even in theory. We need to create weapons and defenses that neither species has ever built, she told the combined research team. Human innovation plus Valkyrie knowledge equals something the Nexari have never encountered. Commander Lee Ji-won coordinated civilian evacuation plans as the Nexari fleet completed their deployment. Every major city now had underground shelters, capable of protecting millions of people, but no shelter could survive direct hits from Nexari planet-killing weapons. Lieutenant Han Soo-young commanded one of the few human ships, still trying to gather intelligence about the enemy. Her modified stealth vessel used experimental technology that combined the best features of both species' designs. I'm detecting energy buildups across the Nexari fleet, she reported during a dangerous flyby mission. They're charging some kind of massive weapon system. The Nexari finally broke their silence with a broadcast that reached every communication device on Earth. The message was delivered in perfect human languages, but the voice carried absolute authority and zero emotion. Species designation human and species designation Valkyrie. You have been selected for termination. Resistance is inadvisable and will result in extended suffering. Compliance will ensure swift elimination. President Nam Sung-yeon addressed the world in what everyone knew might be humanity's final broadcast. His voice remained steady despite the impossible odds they faced. Citizens of Earth and our Valkyrie allies, we face an enemy that has destroyed 1,000 civilizations. But we are not those civilizations. We are human. We do not surrender. Colonel Choi Hyun-woo met with Valkyrie commanders to coordinate their desperate alliance. Former enemies had become partners in survival, united by the common threat of complete extinction. We have one advantage, he told Commander Voss during their final planning session. The Nexari expect us to fight like separate species. They don't know we've learned to work together. Dr. Bae Myung activated Earth's planetary defense grid, knowing it would provide minimal protection against Nexari weapons. But every second of delay might give the combined fleet more time to implement their desperate plan. The massive alien weapons began charging as the Nexari prepared to demonstrate why no civilization had ever successfully resisted their power. Earth and its new Valkyrie allies had perhaps hours before the real battle began. General Kim Won-sik issued final orders to all human and Valkyrie forces throughout the solar system. All ships, all stations, all personnel. This is humanity's greatest test. Show them what happens when Earth fights back. Admiral Park Soo-bin commanded the joint human and Valkyrie fleet from the bridge of the newly constructed battleship Unity. The vessel combined the best technology from both species, creating weapons and defenses that neither could have built alone. All ships report ready for battle, she announced across the combined fleet communications. Remember, we fight not just for Earth, but for every species the Nexari have destroyed. The battle began when the Nexari opened fire with weapons designed to crack planets in half. But instead of striking Earth directly, their massive energy beams hit invisible barriers that absorbed and redirected the deadly force. Dr. Lim Yaren had worked for weeks to create the hybrid shield system. Valkyrie knowledge of galactic warfare combined with human engineering innovation produced defenses the Nexari had never encountered before. Shield grid is holding, she reported from the underground control center. The Nexari weapons are powerful, but our dispersal fields are spreading the impact across thousands of projectors. The combined fleet attacked from all directions simultaneously. Human stealth technology kept ships invisible until the moment they fired, while Valkyrie tactical knowledge allowed them to target the most vulnerable points on Nexari vessels. Captain Jung Minsu led the first wave, his ship carrying hybrid weapons that fired concentrated bursts of weaponized space itself. The technology was so new that even the research team wasn't sure exactly how it worked. Direct hit on the lead Nexari ship, he reported as his experimental weapon tore through alien armor like tissue paper. Their shields didn't even slow it down. Lieutenant Han Suyang coordinated the stealth fighter squadrons as they swarmed around the massive Nexari vessels. The alien ships were powerful but slow, designed to fight large fleet battles rather than swarms of invisible attackers. All fighters target their weapon arrays. If we can't destroy them, we can at least blind them. The Nexari had expected to face two separate primitive species. Instead, they found themselves fighting a unified force that used tactics neither humans nor Valkyrie could have developed independently. Commander Voss fought alongside Major Kang Dongwon aboard one of the Nexari ships they had managed to board. The alien crew inside was confused by the cooperation between species they expected to be enemies. The Nexari don't understand alliance, Voss explained as they fought through the ship's corridors. They have never faced united resistance before. Colonel Moon Jinhuan led the assault on the Nexari command ship, the largest vessel in their fleet. His team included both human soldiers and Valkyrie warriors working together with perfect coordination. Reaching the command center now, he reported. The enemy crew seems shocked that we're fighting together instead of against each other. Dr. Kim Nari monitored Nexari communications as confusion spread through their fleet. The aliens were used to facing desperate, divided enemies. The coordinated resistance from united species disrupted their entire battle plan. They're arguing among themselves, she translated from the intercepted signals. The Nexari commanders disagree about how to respond to tactics they've never seen before. The battle raged for hours as the combined fleet proved that unity could overcome superior technology. Human creativity and Valkyrie experience created solutions to problems that had destroyed 1,000 civilizations. Captain Shin Daeyeon commanded the wing of ships that finally broke through to the Nexari flagship. The massive vessel was retreating toward the edge of the solar system, trying to escape the unexpected defeat. This is for every species you destroyed, he said as his hybrid weapons punched through the alien ship's defenses. Earth remembers them all. General Kim Won-sik coordinated the final assault from his command position on Luna Base. The Nexari fleet was scattered and broken, their perfect formations disrupted by enemies they had underestimated. All ships pursue the retreating vessels. Don't let any of them escape to report our capabilities to their home base. Agent Lee Min-jung had infiltrated the Nexari communication network during the battle, using techniques learned from studying Valkyrie technology. She planted false information that would confuse any reinforcements. Admiral, I've corrupted their battle reports. If any ships escape, they'll tell their superiors that Earth was destroyed and both species were eliminated. The tide turned completely when Dr. Oh Haijin activated the secret weapon she had been developing throughout the crisis. The device used principles from both species to create a field that disrupted Nexari faster than light travel. The enemy fleet is trapped in the solar system, she reported. They can't retreat to faster than light speed while the field is active. Admiral Song Jasu watched from Luna Base as the most powerful alien fleet in the galaxy was systematically destroyed by species they had considered primitive. The victory was complete, but the cost had been enormous. Commander Li Jiwan emerged from her shelter to see Earth still intact above her. The planetary shields had held, the cities were safe, and humanity had won its first galactic war. Lieutenant Yun Taeyong examined captured Nexari technology with amazement. The alien weapons were incredibly advanced, but they were designed for fighting divided, desperate enemies. United resistance had been their weakness. Their technology assumes enemies will fight each other instead of working together, he reported. The Nexari have conquered the galaxy by keeping species separate and afraid. President Nam Sung-yeon addressed the combined fleet as the last Nexari ship was destroyed. Today, two species learned that unity is stronger than any weapon. We have not just won a battle, we have begun a new age. The victory celebration was interrupted by long-range sensors detecting more ships approaching the solar system. For a moment, everyone feared Nexari reinforcements, but the vessels identified themselves as representatives from dozens of different species. Ambassador Co. Minju established contact with the approaching fleet and discovered they were refugees from worlds the Nexari had destroyed. Word of the victory was already spreading through the galaxy. They want to join our alliance, she reported to the Combined Council. Species from across the galaxy are asking if they can help build something the Nexari cannot destroy. Captain Park Min-ho watched from the International Space Station as more ships arrived every day. The solar system became a meeting place for species that had been scattered and hunted for centuries. Luna Base, we have over 200 ships in system. Now, representatives from 40 different species. They all want to be part of what we've built here. The alliance grew rapidly as word spread that the invincible Nexari had finally been defeated. Species that had hidden in fear for generations came forward to join the resistance against galactic tyranny. Dr. Bae Myung worked with scientists from dozens of worlds to develop new technologies based on the principles that had won Earth's victory. Cooperation and innovation replaced fear and isolation. We're not just building weapons, she told the combined research team. We're building a new way of thinking that the Nexari cannot understand or defeat. The final scene showed human and Valkyrie children learning together in schools across multiple worlds. Their parents worked side by side, building ships that would carry the Alliance to distant stars. The species that thought Earth would fall in 10 minutes had created the foundation for a galactic civilization built on unity, innovation, and the refusal to surrender. Earth's brief war had become the catalyst for the liberation of an entire galaxy.